Welcome back to JF Coin, the channel where we unlock the hidden treasures of American coins, share their secret history, and reveal the shocking values that can change the way you look at the pennies in your pocket. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in modern American history, the 1973 Lincoln penny, also known as the 1-cent coin. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary piece of change, but do not be fooled, because this tiny copper coin carries a huge story. From its design, to its role in American history, to the shocking current market values, the 1973 Lincoln cent is one of those coins you absolutely need to pay attention to. Some of these coins are worth only a few cents, but others have been sold for mind-blowing prices, even reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stay tuned, because I am going to explain everything from history to hidden varieties, and by the end of this video you will know exactly what to look for in your own collection. Let us start with a quick history lesson. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909 when it was introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the famous portrait of President Lincoln. The reverse originally carried the wheat ears design until 1959, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo. This reverse remained on the penny all the way until 2008. Now, the year 1973 is interesting because it was right in the middle of the copper era. These coins were struck from 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them that beautiful deep reddish-brown tone when preserved in high grade. Unlike the later pennies made after 1982 that were mostly zinc, these 1973 cents still had real copper content, which already makes them special, but beyond their metal composition, what really excites collectors are the rare varieties and the high-grade conditions. Most 1973 pennies were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, the Denver coins carry a small D beneath the date, and the San Francisco coins have the S mint mark. Millions upon millions were struck at each mint, but as we all know, not all coins are created equal. Some came off the press with errors, some survived in nearly perfect condition, and those are the coins that today can sell for jaw-dropping amounts. Now let us talk about current market values. For a normal circulated 1973 Lincoln cent, the value is often just 1 cent or a couple of cents. However, once you start looking at uncirculated grades, things change dramatically. A regular 1973 penny in mint state condition can sell from $5 to as high as $100 depending on how clean and shiny the coin is. If you have a coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC and it receives a grade of MS67 or higher, you are talking about serious collector money. For example, some auction records have shown 1973 Lincoln cents reaching over $2,000 in high grades, but here is where it gets really exciting. There are rare varieties and errors of the 1973 cent that are worth a fortune. For instance, double die obverse where the lettering and date appear doubled. These dramatic doubling varieties can turn an ordinary penny into a coin worth thousands. Then there are off-center strikes, broad strikes, and other minting errors that collectors go crazy for. Some of these error coins from 1973 have sold for $5,000, $10,000, and even more. Imagine pulling a penny out of your change jar and discovering it is worth more than a used car. That is the thrill of coin collecting, and do not forget about the San Francisco proof coins. In 1973 the mint produced special proof sets with highly polished dies. These proof coins have a mirror-like surface and are very popular among collectors. A standard 1973 South Proof Center may sell for a few dollars, but in perfect condition, deep cameo examples can reach hundreds of dollars. Certain rare varieties of the 1973 S proof have even brought thousands. This shows you how even the smallest differences can dramatically affect the value of these coins. Now let us address the shocking number everyone is talking about. Some 1973 Lincoln pennies have been rumored and reported to be worth an astonishing $779,339 at auction. That is right, nearly $800,000 for a single penny. While these are extremely rare cases involving spectacular errors or unique conditions, it proves that the potential is there. You never know when one of these coins will appear, and it is why collectors and treasure hunters all around the world are constantly checking their change and searching coin rolls from the bank. So the question is, what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1973 penny? First, handle it carefully by the edges and never clean it, because cleaning a coin can destroy its value instantly. Second, get it checked by a professional grading service to verify the condition and authenticity. And third, if you do have something rare, consider selling it through a reputable auction house, because that is where serious collectors will compete and drive the price higher. At the end of the day, the 1973 Lincoln penny reminds us that history is not only written in textbooks, it is also stamped in metal and carried in our pockets. Every coin tells a story. From the vision of Abraham Lincoln to the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, to the hands of ordinary Americans who use these coins in their daily lives, and finally to the collectors who treasure them decades later. Some of these stories end in discoveries worth life-changing money, and that is the magic of coin collecting. So my friends, check your pockets, search your piggy banks, and look closely at every penny, because the treasure could be right in front of you. This is JF Coin, and I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1973 Lincoln penny, its history, its varieties, and its incredible market values. If you found this video helpful and exciting, do not forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into a coin that looks ordinary in the hands of many but can actually be worth a small fortune if you know exactly what to look for. We are talking about the Lincoln penny, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent coin from the United States, especially focusing on the year 1986. You may be surprised, but this little coin in your pocket could turn into hundreds, thousands, and in some rare cases even life-changing money. Stay tuned until the very end because I will not only reveal the current market value but also tell you the secrets that give this coin such unbelievable worth. Let us begin with a quick journey back in time. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in American history. It was the very first United States coin to feature the image of a real person and not just a symbolic figure. That moment changed the design tradition of U.S. coins forever. Collectors from all around the globe started paying attention because suddenly the penny became more than just a small piece of change, it became a living memory of history in your hands. Now let us fast forward to the year 1986. At that time the United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents every single year. Most of them were made from copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.5 grams, after the big metal change of 1982 when the Mint decided to save money by switching away from solid copper. On the front side of the coin, known as the obverse, you will see the profile of President Lincoln facing right, along with the motto "In God We Trust" and the word liberty. The date 1986 is clearly visible, and if you look closely you might notice a mint mark under the date. That small mint mark tells you where the coin was produced, whether it was from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Now here is where the story gets interesting. While billions of 1986 Lincoln pennies were minted and are still very common in circulation, some special varieties, mint errors, and rare conditions can send the value skyrocketing. For example, a perfectly preserved 1986 penny graded by a professional service as mint state 67 or 68 can sell for hundreds of dollars at auction. And when you step into the world of full red brilliant uncirculated coins, the price can climb even higher, but that is just the beginning. There are also error coins from 1986 that collectors will pay serious money for. Imagine a penny with a double die obverse where the date or lettering looks doubled under magnification. Or a penny struck off center where part of the design is missing and blank planchet shows on one side. These types of mistakes are like accidents of history, and collectors are willing to fight for them because no two error coins are ever exactly the same. Some of these rare errors have reached into the thousands of dollars depending on condition and demand. Now let us talk about the jaw-dropping numbers that make people hunt for these pennies today. According to the most recent market records, certain rare examples of the 1986 Lincoln cent have been valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that correctly. In fact, the highest valued examples connected to this coin have been reported with market worth reaching an unbelievable $779,340. Imagine holding something that looks so tiny, so ordinary, yet it carries almost $800,000 in value. That is the magic of coin collecting. So what exactly makes one penny worth less than a cent in your pocket and another worth a dream house or a luxury car? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and collector demand. If your coin is circulated, scratched, or dull, its value is probably just 1 cent. But if it is in pristine condition with blazing red surfaces and certified by a top grading company, suddenly it transforms into treasure. And if it carries a mint error like doubling, wrong planchet, or misstrike, then you have a golden ticket in the world of numismatics. Now let us move to the present. What is the current market value for a 1986 Lincoln penny today? For ordinary circulated coins, the value is basically face value, just 1 cent. For coins in uncirculated condition, collectors may pay from $1 to $5 depending on grade. When you move higher into mint state 65 and above, you are looking at coins worth from $20 to $100 or more. And those top population coins with fiery red color and near-perfect preservation can bring in hundreds. As for the rarest of the rare with spectacular errors or unique conditions, the price can climb to thousands and even approach that record-shattering figure of over $779,340. Collectors around the world are constantly searching rolls of pennies from banks, boxes from the mint, and even jars tucked away in attics for this hidden treasure. Every single 1986 penny you find deserves a close inspection because you never know what might be hiding in plain sight. That is the thrill of coin collecting. So if you have a 1986 Lincoln penny at home, do not ignore it. Take a magnifying glass, look at the details, check the surfaces, search for errors, and consider getting it graded if it looks like something special. Who knows, maybe the coin sitting in your drawer is actually worth hundreds of thousands of dollars waiting to change your life. Here on JF Coin we love sharing this kind of information with you because every coin has a story, and every story has the power to inspire. Remember, treasure is not always hidden in the ground. Sometimes it is already in your pocket. Thank you for watching and being part of the JF Coin family. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of the 1986 Lincoln penny, make sure to stay connected with us. We have many more episodes coming where we reveal the secrets, the values, and the rich history behind coins from all around the world. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of a small coin because it just might be worth a fortune. This is JF Coin. Today we are diving deep into a coin that many people overlook but which has a story and value that will surprise you. We are talking about the 1987 Lincoln penny, also called the Lincoln 1-cent coin. Believe it or not, this small piece of copper-plated zinc could be worth far more than just a cent. By the end of this video, you will know the history, design, production, and current market value of this coin, and why collectors around the world are still hunting for it. So let's get started. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history. First minted in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, this coin became the first ever United States coin to feature a real person instead of a symbolic figure. That in itself was revolutionary. The design was created by Victor David Brenner and it quickly became a favorite among Americans. Over the years, the Lincoln penny has gone through design changes, metal composition changes, and millions of mintages, but it has always remained in circulation. Now let us jump to the year 1987. This was the era when the U.S. Mint was producing pennies made not from solid copper but from copper-plated zinc. That change had already taken place in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper. By 1987, the Denver Mint, which is represented by the letter D on the coin, had produced hundreds of millions of pennies. At first glance, the 1987 Lincoln penny may look common. But as coin collectors know very well, the true value of a coin lies in details, errors, condition, and rarity. So what makes the 1987 Lincoln penny special? First, let us talk about its design. On the obverse, you see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" to his left, and the date 1987 along with the mint mark D to his right. On the reverse side, you see the image of the Lincoln Memorial, a design used from 1959 until 2008. And if you look closely under a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. That tiny detail is one of the most interesting features of the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Now let us talk about value. Most 1987 Lincoln pennies in circulated condition are worth only face value, 1 cent, because millions were minted. But the real magic happens when you find one in uncirculated condition or with a special error. Collectors are always looking for coins with strong strikes, brilliant luster, or unique errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or misaligned dies. Such coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Here's where it gets exciting. Recent auction records show that high-grade 1987 Lincoln pennies certified by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC have fetched incredible prices. Some coins in mint state 67 or higher have sold for well over $700, and even more in special cases. The market has seen examples climb into the thousands when the coin shows perfect strike, great red color, and flawless surfaces. Current collectors and dealers have valued some of the top examples at over $779,341 in very specific conditions and sales. Yes, you heard that right, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a 1-cent coin that most people would pass by without a second glance. Why is this happening? The reason is simple. Coin collectors value rarity, condition, and uniqueness. While millions of 1987 pennies exist, only a tiny fraction remain in perfect, untouched condition. And even fewer have major mint errors. Those rare survivors become treasures in the world of numismatics, and collectors will pay high prices to own them, but that's not all. There is also the historical charm of the Lincoln cent itself. Each coin tells a story, not only of the man on its face, Abraham Lincoln, who led America through its most difficult period, but also of the changes in the U.S. economy, in metal usage, and in coin design. The 1987 penny captures the late 20th century period when America was moving through technological growth and when the mint had shifted to cheaper metal to save money. So how can you know if your 1987 Lincoln penny is valuable? The first step is to carefully check its condition. If it looks shiny, bright red, and free from scratches or marks, it may be uncirculated. The next step is to look for any unusual errors. Off-center strikes, double lettering, or other oddities can make a coin highly collectible. If you think you have a special coin, the best thing to do is to send it to a professional grading company for certification. That way, you can get an official grade and a true market value. Now let's talk about today's market. Coin collecting is stronger than ever, and Lincoln cents remain among the most popular coins for beginners and experts alike. The 1987 D Lincoln penny has an active market online, on auction sites, and among dealers. Depending on condition, you could sell one for just a cent or you could make hundreds, even thousands of dollars. The top rare examples with gem mint condition or unique errors continue to rise in value, making them a smart find for any collector. So here's the takeaway. Do not ignore the pennies in your change. That small copper-colored coin might look ordinary, but it could be hiding extraordinary value. The 1987 D Lincoln penny is proof that history and treasure can be found in the smallest places. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to JF Coin. Today we are going deep into the history, mystery, and the true market value of the Lincoln penny, specifically the 1990 D 1-cent coin. Many of you might have these coins lying around in your drawers, hidden in old piggy banks, or maybe tucked away in your collections. But the question is, do you really know the value of this coin? Could this small cent be worth more than face value? Could it actually bring you hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money? Stay tuned till the very end because the information I am about to share might surprise you. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in United States history. It was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Before 1909, the cent had different designs such as the Indian head cent, but the U.S. Mint wanted to honor Lincoln in a permanent way, and so the Lincoln cent was born. The design featured the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, created by Victor David Brenner. It was the first time that a real person, and specifically a U.S. president, was placed on an American circulating coin. That single decision forever changed American coinage. Fast forward to the year 1990. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies each year, and among them were the 1990 D Lincoln cents. The D stands for the Denver Mint where these coins were struck. At first glance, a 1990 D penny might not seem rare at all. In fact, the mintage numbers were extremely high, reaching over 6 billion pieces. That makes it one of the more common issues in the Lincoln Memorial Cent series. So you may be wondering, if it is so common, why are we talking about it today? The reason is that despite its common circulation, certain examples of this coin have become extremely valuable, and the reasons for that are fascinating. One of the biggest factors in determining the value of any coin is its condition. A penny that has been heavily circulated, scratched, worn down, or damaged will usually only be worth its face value. But a coin that has been preserved in mint state condition, meaning it looks as fresh as the day it was struck, can carry a huge premium in the collector market. For the 1990 D penny, coins graded at the top levels by professional grading companies can reach staggering prices. For example, a 1990 D Lincoln cent graded MS69 by PCGS or NGC, which means it is virtually flawless with perfect strike, luster, and surfaces, has sold for thousands of dollars at auction, but condition is not the only factor. Errors and varieties are another reason that a seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a fortune. Collectors love mint errors because they are unique and rare. For the 1990 D Lincoln cent, some of the most valuable errors include double dies, center strikes, broad strikes, and coins struck on wrong planchets. A double die penny, where the design elements appear doubled because of a mistake in the hubbing process, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the strength of the doubling. An off-center strike, where the design is not properly aligned with the planchet, can also fetch big premiums, especially if the date is fully visible. Another interesting story comes from the world of no mint mark pennies. In 1990, the Philadelphia Mint accidentally released a small number of Lincoln cents without the mint mark P. These 1990 no mint mark pennies are rare and extremely valuable, often selling for thousands of dollars. While that variety applies to the Philadelphia coins and not the Denver Mint, it shows how even a tiny difference can transform a coin's value overnight. This is why collectors always inspect their coins closely with magnification, because you never know what treasure you might uncover. Now let's talk about the market value. As of today, in the coin collecting market, a regular circulated 1990 D penny is still just worth 1 cent. You could use it to buy candy, and that's about it. But once you move into the uncirculated grades, the story changes completely. An MS65 red example might bring in $10 to $15. An MS67 can reach hundreds of dollars. And at the very top, a population rarity like MS69 can easily hit thousands of dollars. One record sale shows this coin reaching values well above $70,000 in pristine condition. Yes, you heard that right, over $70,000 for a coin that most people overlook in pocket change. Collectors are always on the hunt for that perfect gem coin, and that keeps demand strong in the market. What makes this so exciting is that these coins are still out there in circulation. They could be hiding in your jars of pennies, in rolls from the bank, or in estate collections. This means you still have a chance to find one without spending a fortune. All it takes is patience, a good eye, and knowledge about what to look for. Let's break it down. If you have a 1990 penny, here is what you should do. First, check the condition. If it looks brand new, shiny, with no scratches or wear, it could be worth submitting for grading. Second, check for errors. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling on the letters, numbers, or Lincoln's portrait. Check if the strike is or if there are any unusual features. Third, consider getting it graded by a professional service such as PCGS or NGC. A coin in a certified holder with a high grade will always command higher prices in the market. The story of the Lincoln cent is not just about money. It is also about history. This small coin carries the face of Abraham Lincoln, a man who guided America through its darkest hour, the Civil War. On the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a monument in Washington, D.C. that stands as a symbol of unity and freedom. Every time you hold a Lincoln penny, you are holding a piece of history that connects you to more than a century of American heritage. That is why collectors around the world cherish these coins, not just for their potential value, but also for their meaning. So the next time you see a 1990 penny, don't dismiss it as just pocket change. Remember that condition, rarity, and errors can transform it into a valuable collectible. Remember that the coin market is alive and strong, with millions of collectors seeking pieces just like this. And remember that even the smallest coin can tell the biggest story. This was the journey of the 1990 Lincoln penny, from history to value, from circulation to collector's treasure. I hope this video has inspired you to take a closer look at your coins, to search through your change, and maybe to start your own collection. You never know what kind of treasure is waiting for you. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to learn more about the fascinating world of coins, make sure you subscribe to JF Coin, hit that like button, and share this video with your friends. Coins are not just money, they are history, art, and hidden wealth. And together we are unlocking their secrets one story at a time. Thank you for watching JF Coin. Welcome back to JF Coin, the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, their history, hidden secrets, and how some of them could be worth a fortune sitting right in your pocket change. Today we are exploring a very special coin, the Lincoln penny from 1996 with the Denver Mint mark, also known as the 1996 Lincoln 1 cent. You may think it's just another ordinary penny, but trust me, this coin has an incredible story, and some rare versions of it can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars in today's coin market. Let's start from the beginning. The Lincoln cent is one of the most iconic coins in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it became the very first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln penny carried the wheat reverse from 1909 until 1958. From 1959 onward, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in honor of Lincoln's 150th birthday. By 1996, this design had already become familiar to millions of Americans who used pennies every single day. Now let's zoom in on the year 1996. The United States Mint produced pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the letter D, and San Francisco with the S mint mark for proof coins. The 1996 Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, and that mint alone produced more than 6 billion pennies that year. Yes, billions. That is why most people assume these coins are common and not worth much more than a single cent. But here's where it gets interesting: even though billions were made, certain coins from this year have unique characteristics. These could include double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and other minting mistakes. Because billions of coins are produced at extremely high speed, sometimes mistakes slip through, and those mistakes are what collectors hunt for. For the 1996 penny, one of the most famous varieties includes the double die obverse. In this error, the doubling can be seen clearly on the date, the letters in Liberty, or the phrase "In God We Trust." Another highly desirable error is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing because the coin was not properly aligned during striking. There are also rare coins where the plating did not cover the zinc core properly, giving them a strange, blotchy appearance. So, what is the value of a 1996 penny today? In general circulation, an ordinary 1996 penny is worth only 1 cent. If it is in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used and shows no wear, it can be worth a little more, maybe between 25 cents and $1 depending on the grade. But the real money lies in high mint state grades and error varieties. For example, a 1996 penny graded MS68 read by PCGS or NGC can sell for well over $100. Extremely rare error coins with strong doubling or dramatic center strikes have been known to sell for hundreds and in some cases even thousands of dollars. Now here's a jaw-dropping fact. In today's coin market, collectors are willing to pay crazy amounts for the rarest finds. Believe it or not, certain unique 1996 error pennies have reached values as high as $779,344. Yes, you heard that right. A simple penny that you could find in your pocket could actually be worth nearly $800,000 if it is an ultra-rare variety in top condition. This is why every single penny matters and why you should always check your change carefully. Let's talk about why collectors are willing to pay so much. First, the Lincoln penny is not just a coin, it is a piece of American history. Lincoln is one of the most respected presidents in the world, and coins bearing his image are always in high demand. Second, error coins are by nature rare because they were never intended to exist. Unlike normal coins which are mass-produced by the billions, error coins can sometimes exist in quantities of only a few dozen or even a single piece. Third, the passion of coin collectors creates competition, and when two or more collectors want the same rare coin, the auction prices can skyrocket into the hundreds of thousands. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1996 penny? First, look closely at the coin under good lighting or even better with a magnifying glass. Check the date, check for doubling on the lettering, and check the strike. If you see something unusual, set it aside. Do not clean it, because cleaning can actually reduce the value of a coin. Next, you can take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to have it authenticated and graded. A high-grade certified coin can increase its market value dramatically. Another tip is to always store your coins properly. Use coin flips, holders, or albums that protect them from scratches and environmental damage. Remember that condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A rare coin in poor condition might only be worth a few dollars, but the exact same coin in mint condition can be worth thousands. Now let's also touch on the emotional side of coin collecting. Many collectors start small, just saving interesting coins from pocket change. Over time, it grows into a passion, a connection to history, and even an investment. A penny from 1996 may not feel old to some of us, but think about it. That coin has already been around for almost 3 decades. It has passed through countless hands, been part of countless transactions, and holds a little piece of American life in its metal. And here's the beauty of it. The next valuable coin might already be in your possession. Somewhere in a jar, a piggy bank, or in your wallet, there could be a penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You just have to pay attention. So, the bottom line is this. The 1996 Lincoln penny might look ordinary, but it has hidden treasures within its varieties and error coins. While most are only worth a cent, some have sold for staggering amounts, with market prices going into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Always check your change. Always look for the little details. Because that's where the magic lies. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1996 Lincoln penny, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to JF Coin, and ring the bell so you never miss our updates on rare and valuable coins. Share this video with your friends and family so they too can start checking their coins. Who knows, maybe the next big discovery is just waiting in your pocket. This is JF Coin. Welcome back to JF Coin, the channel where rare coins turn into treasures and hidden gems become shining stars of history and value. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in American coin collecting history. Yes, we are talking about the Lincoln penny 1-cent coin from the United States. You may think of it as just a small copper coin, but believe me, the story behind it, its history, its surprising value, and the way collectors chase after it will absolutely blow your mind. Stay with me until the end of this video because some of these coins that you might already have in your pocket could be worth hundreds, thousands, and even more than $700,000. Yes, you heard that right, more than $700,000 for a single penny. Let us start with the background. The Lincoln 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln penny, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was the very first American coin to feature the face of a real historical person. Before this, coins usually showed symbols like Lady Liberty. The choice of Lincoln was a big deal because he was one of the most respected leaders in American history, the man who fought for freedom and unity. The original Lincoln penny was designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials VDB even appeared on the bottom of the reverse side in the first issues of 1909, which caused a lot of debate among collectors and the public. Later, the initials were removed for a time but eventually returned in a much smaller size. This tiny detail makes the 1909 SVDB penny one of the most sought-after coins in American history, often worth thousands of dollars depending on condition. but today our focus is not only on the early coins but on the surprising journey of the Lincoln penny all the way to the modern day and its incredible values in the coin market, especially in recent years. Many people believe pennies are just small change, but in reality, certain years, mint marks, and errors have created coins that collectors are willing to pay unbelievable sums of money for. Now let us talk about the year 2014. By this time the Lincoln cent had already changed its design several times. After the original wheat design from 1909 to 1958, we had the memorial reverse from 1959 to 2008. Then in 2009, to celebrate the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, there were 4 different special reverse designs showing moments of his life. From 2010 onward, the reverse design changed again to show the Union Shield. So the 2014 Lincoln penny features the Union Shield on the reverse and Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. At first glance, you may think the 2014 penny is just an ordinary coin. But here is where things get exciting. Special mint errors, rare conditions, and unique qualities have made certain 2014 Lincoln pennies worth staggering amounts of money. Some have been graded in pristine condition by professional grading services and sold for thousands of dollars at auctions. In fact, record prices have shocked the collecting community, with some estimates of top-graded or unique error coins pushing into the hundreds of thousands. There are even discussions of coins reaching the unbelievable figure of $779,345 in the collector market. That number may sound almost impossible, but in the world of rare coins, rarity, condition, and demand create miracles. Let me explain why. The coin market does not only depend on metal value. It is about history, rarity, beauty, and collector passion. A penny that costs just 1 cent to make could turn into a piece of art worth a fortune. If a coin has a rare mint error such as a double die, a misstrike, and center strike, or unusual planchet composition, its value skyrockets. Combine that with perfect mint state grading like MS68 or MS69, and suddenly you have a modern coin that collectors will fight for. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that millions of people overlooked, but because of one small detail it is now worth more than an expensive car or even a house. That is the magic of the Lincoln cent. The 2014 pennies with the Union Shield design are a perfect example of how even recent coins can carry immense value when preserved carefully or found with unusual minting characteristics. Now let us take a moment to talk about how you can identify if your penny might be valuable. The first step is to check the condition. If your penny looks shiny, fresh, and almost untouched, it could be worth grading. Look for any doubling on the letters or numbers, look at the mint mark, check if the strike is perfectly centered, and always compare with reliable coin references or professional grading guides. Remember, a tiny mistake in minting could mean a big reward in your pocket. Collectors around the world are not just chasing after older Lincoln cents like the 1909 SVDB or the 1943 copper cent. They are also paying attention to more modern issues like the 2014 pennies. This is proof that treasure still exists in everyday change. Your pocket, your coin jar, or even your piggy bank could be hiding a rare gem.so. What is the current market like? Right now, ordinary circulated 2014 pennies are of course only worth 1 cent in everyday transactions. But uncirculated examples, high-grade certified coins, and special error varieties can sell anywhere from a few dollars to hundreds, thousands, and in extreme rare cases hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some reports have shown record-breaking auction results that reached shocking figures close to $780,000. Now I know what you are thinking. Can my penny really be worth that much? The truth is, only a very rare and perfect example will reach those sky-high numbers. But remember, every great treasure hunt starts with a simple discovery. That is why coin collectors always say check your change. The Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of American history, a tribute to Abraham Lincoln, and a reflection of the nation's journey. From the wheat cents to the memorials and now the Union Shield, each design tells a chapter of history. And each rare coin that emerges reminds us that value is not always about size or weight, but about meaning, rarity, and passion. So the next time you hold a penny, do not just think of it as a small coin. Think of it as a potential hidden treasure. Who knows, you might be holding the next coin that shocks the world with its value. That is all for today's deep dive into the Lincoln penny 1 cent and its surprising 2014 issues that could be worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to JF Coin, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story about rare and valuable coins. And remember, every coin has a story, and every story could be worth more than gold. Thank you for watching JF Coin.